سلام علیکم. انشالله که حال احوال همگی خوب باشه، سلامت باشید. This is the final session and the last session of this course, and now uh, I'm going to complete my discussion about the derived data, and after that I'm going to talk about your final exam, and okay, finally I'm going to hear a question about uh, the topics which are discussed in this course, and final exam, and all other questions. In the previous session, I started um talking about the derived data. The derived data is some data uh, which are obtained by using some process, some transformation. Derived data is not normal data, and uh, and I talk about some concept about the derived data. Uh, in the previous session, I talked about the distributed file systems because in this course, we talk about the distributed matches, distributed systems, which consists of some matches, and we know that the data should store in different matching, in multi-matchings. So there is a need to have a distributed file system. Distributed file system is a file system which are located in different matchings. Um, Mustafa asked a question. Doctor, can you explain? Is it the answer in the final exam is the PDF or handwriting format? And the lectures are included in the final exam exactly. Um, yes, Mustafa. First of all, you should write question uh, in the paper with handwriting. Okay, so don't forget your final exam should be handwriting format. And sometime I specify some question about six to between 6 to 10 question usually. Again, the final exam include uh, between 6 and 10 questions. Um, you should write in the paper and take a picture from from the papers. And usually I suggest you to convert the pictures to the PDF format, and send the answer in the Osmoon portal, which is used for your final exam. If you cannot upload your answers in the portal, you should send to my WhatsApp or to my email. This is uh, this is the number of my WhatsApp account, and so this is my email address. Don't forget, you should send the answer only the within the uh, final exam time. Okay, please send me only through the final exam time, not after that. Again, please try to upload your answer in the Osmoon portal. If you cannot upload the answer, you can send to my email address or to my WhatsApp account. Okay, another question about the final exam. And what is the length of the exam time? The length of exam time is about 1 o'clock to 1 yes, 1 hour or 1 hour and 30 minutes. I don't know. It's related to the number of questions. For example, if the number of question is for example 6, 1 hour is enough for your final exam. But for 10 questions, usually 1 hour and 30 minutes is the length of the exam time. It's not too short, Nazar, because usually that's enough. I think that's enough. Are the questions descriptive or more than one choice? The questions are descriptive, Mustafa. The questions are descriptive. Yes, all of them. Okay, I know the internet connection can be weak, but it's not important because only you should to send a PDF file, including I don't know 2-3 pages. Usually that's enough for the final exam. And okay, so you don't need to have a internet connection, a strong internet connection. Can you give us a sample of the final exam question? No, Ibrahim, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I have not samples of the final exam, so I cannot send some sample for you. But the questions and answer, all questions and answer are in the slides, are in the files that are presented in this class. Okay, so don't worry about the questions, because I don't want to design complex question. Okay, some simple question can I'm trying to select some simple questions, some simple and clear question for your final exam. Mohammed Jafar asked, should we write the answer by hand on the paper, or can the answer be copied from the calculator? No, Mohammed Jafar. I said you again that you should write by hand, okay? By hand, and okay, only by hand. And after that, take picture from the page and please convert them to the one file, to the one PDF file, and send me. Okay, is it clear, Mohammed? Mohammed, is it clear? Okay. Another question about the final exam. Okay. Please can you download the exam instruction on the Darsa website? No, I cannot, Mustafa, because the university don't allow us to uh, upload. Oh, okay. Okay. Previous session I talked about the distributed file systems. I say you that title in the fifth chapter in the subject of delay. I did not understand the mechanism of action. Muhammad, okay, I should to come back to the chapter uh, and uh, find appropriate slide based on your question, but you should guide me to find appropriate slide. But also you can download some things, some video file which are uploaded in the Darsa, because I uploaded uh, all video files in the Darsa, um, and if you want, you can use them to find your question, inshallah. Uh, Okay. Now, please let me to finish this file. Um, I say you that I talk about the distributed file systems. Different distributed file systems are introduced, um, such as HDFS. Okay, some other distributed file system includes including Gluster, Quadcast, Amazon S3, Azure Blob storage, which is presented by Microsoft, OpenStack Swift. Okay, and I say you that um, when we use a distributed file system, okay, we know that the data and the file system are distributed over uh, through some machines. Uh, okay, so we need a daemon process. We need a daemon process running on each machine. Allow other nodes to access file store. Allow other nodes to access file store. Yes, because don't forget that the data are distributed over some machines. And also we need a central server, which is called the name node, to keep track of file blocks on machines. Okay, we know that the file blocks spread between some machines. Okay, so we need a central server to keep track of file blocks. But conceptually, when the number of matches is too high, the number of files is too high. Okay, so conceptually create one big file system. One big file system includes um, the information of all all file blocks which are stored on different matches. And blocks are replicated on multiple matching. I talk about the replication, and I say you that replication is important components in distributed systems, distributed database, because of fault tolerance. Um, so uh, blocks of replicated on multiple matches, and we need to know this information uh, on a big file systems. Okay, and we use the replication because it's possible that one matching, one copy is fault, and okay, so we can use another copy, another replica. This technique is similar to RAID because the RAID including two hard disks. One hard disk is the main, and another one is alternative. And if the main hard disk is damaged, okay, another hard disk can be used. Okay, this technique is similar to the replications because in replication we have some copies of one things of data. Oh, okay, so if one of them is damaged, another one can be used. Uh, okay, no, I'm going to talk about the MapReduce job execution. We know that the MapReduce process including two sub-process, mapping and reduce. Okay, so we need mapper and reducer. Mapper, uh, it's called for every input record. It's called for every input record, and mapper is used to extract key and value from the input record. the import record need to store in appropriate places. Okay, so the mapper wants to the mapper is used to extract key and value from the import record. Don't forget we want to find appropriate place, appropriate location, appropriate file to store the input record. So the mapper generate key and the value from the import record. It's possible may generate any number of key value pairs, and after that reducer is a framework which collects of the values belong to the same key. Reducer is the framework collect of all the values belong to the same key, and it calls the reducer with an iterator over the values. You can find the mechanisms which are used by mapper and reducer in this yes, for example, in this slide. After this slide, we return to the previous slide. Okay, so please pay attention to this slide. You can see the HDFS input directory. I say you that the input directory are distributed over some matches. Okay, so you can see some matches, some nodes, and okay, you can see the mapper task 1, task 2, and task 3. These mapper tasks are running on different matches. Okay, so you know the mapper task is responsible to extract the key and values from each import record. Okay, so M1, M2, and M3 are the input records. Okay, so these import records are assigned to the mapper, and the mapper extract the key and value from the import record. For example, the key is M1. The key or value. Yes. The key can be R1, R2, and R3. We know that we want to find the key and values. Okay, so for the records which have the same keys, these records should send to the one matches. Okay, so we can see some information should send to reducer 1. Some information should send to the reducer 2, to the reducer 2, and to the reducer 3. Okay, this information is obtained from the mapper 1. Okay, you can see the mapper 1 and some values which are obtained for reducer 1, for reducer 2, and for reducer 3. You know, each mapper 1, mapper 2, and mapper 3 should specify appropriate values for each reducer. Okay, so in this figure you can see the reducer, the information, the data, the appropriate files and records which related to the reducer 1 are sent to it from mapper 1, from mapper 2, and from mapper 3. So these information are aggregated in each node according to the key value, Okay, don't forget that the information which are related to the reducer 1 have the same key, Also, you can see this figure in the right and the second tire. You can see there is another reducer. There is reducer 2, and again the information which is related to the reducer 2 are sent to it. Okay, this is the map reduced responsibility. This is the map reduced responsibility as map reduced process. For example, in the previous session I talked about the log file, the simple log file which consists of some information about the our website, from the website. Okay, so in this record you can see the IP, the user with this IP, this is the IP address of client. Okay, and in this timestamp, okay, please let me Nazar ask a question. Is Mapreduce identify the process and the source it belongs to? Not process, Nazar. Please don't say the process. It's the file store. It's the file. Okay. So the mapper specify the file, appropriate file for the records. You know, we talk about the database, and each database including some records, and each record is belonging to the one table, for example. And reducer direct them to the resource from the reducer responsible to get the record with the same keys and store them in one location, in one file. Okay, for example, welcome, Nazar. For example, in this record, you can see there is one IP address, okay, the timestamp, the method, okay, and some other fields. Okay, we have some matchings, and each matching includes some, okay, the mapper component. The mapper is a process that get the input record and do a specific process on it. For example, there is a reducer. For example, there is a reducer which is responsible to get the information of the page of the web page which is visited by the clients. Okay, so there is a reducer. There is a reducer which responsible to get the web page which are visited by the clients. The web page can be, for example, the index dot, I don't know, for example, PHP, or register.php, I don't know, login.php. These are the pages, the web pages on a web application. Okay, these web application are stored on different machines because the number of clients is so high, and okay, we use distributed machines for this web application. Okay, so each machine includes appropriate includes the log file, and the reducer, one reducer need to get the number of page. Don't forget, one reducer, which can be the reducer one, is responsible to get the number of pages which are visited by clients. Okay, so the mapper in this side, the mapper is responsible to process the log file and specify the name of web page and sort them, and okay, some other process which can be used, which can be processed by the mapper, and the result should send to the reducer, and this reducer is responsible to get the result of the results. For example, yes, the result of this command. Okay, so this command can be executed by the mapper, and the mapper send the result of the force command to the appropriate reducer, and the reducer gets this information, the result of the force command from all mappers of all matches, and okay, for example, the mapper. Oh, sorry, let me sorry. I'm sorry. I had an important phone, no, okay, calling. Okay, I talk about the mapper and reducer, and you can see uh, the mapper is responsible to do these commands and send the result of the force command to the reducer. Okay, so the reducer get the result from different mappers Okay, so for example one mapper sent, okay, so you know the unique dash c uh, specify uh, each page and the number of uh, uh, one number. For example, it can be 3, it can be, I don't know, 1, and it can be, for example, I don't know, 10. Um, and this number is the number of times that page, for example, uh, three times the index.php has been visited by clients. Okay, or register1.php is uh, visited only by one client. Okay, and yes, you can see this information is sent to the reducer. And again, similar to this information, other data is sent from mapper to the reducer. 6, 3, and I don't know, 5. Okay, the reducer is responsible to get this information from different client. Okay, this page can be different. Okay, for example, it can be, I don't know, the cache, the I'm going to write the number of pages. I don't know. Okay, it's not important. The reducer is responsible to get this information from a different mapper, and the reducer combine this information. Okay, so the the command 5 and command 6 are execute by reducer. Okay, so the result of this is login with 10, Puya with 6, and log and cache dot 5, and this is the an index with 3. Okay, the reducer is responsible to get the appropriate results from the mappers and combine them. Okay, this information about the page, the web page, and the number of times that these page has been visited by the clients are sent to the reducer, and reducer is responsible to sort them and return the head 5 number of them. Okay, can you get it? Can you understand the what is the mapper and the reducer, two different process, and how they can be used oh, Muhammad Jafar can understand. Some students, can you understand this or not? Okay, Nazar understand, and other student we don't get anything from other students, unfortunately. Muhammad Jafar, pay attention. What we don't understand, what we are required to do. Uh, we want to spread the computation between some matches. Okay, we talk about the distributed systems. Distributed system include different file systems, file store in different matches, and so we want to do process on the files which are spread between some matches. Okay, so we can use the Mapreduce process. In another aspect, we want to do batch processing, but in different file systems, which are in different file systems which are spread between some matches. Okay, don't forget. Okay, by using the Mapreduce, the mapper and reducer are two different components. The first component, the mapper component, is responsible to do some commands, to execute some commands, and other commands uh, should execute by the reducer process. Why? Because the files are spread between some matches. Okay, so when there are some matches, okay, so each matching has its own log file. Each matching has its own log file. We want to process all log files and the information of all log files. Okay, so the mapper component is located on every matching, and that consists of the log file, and we want to process the log file which is introduced on it. Okay, so the mapper process do these commands, which get the appropriate part of each record and after that, okay, this record after that the sort command, okay, this information can be sorted, and the number of each page, if each web page, and also the number of times that the page is visited are calculated from each record and from each log file. This information should send to one reducer. Okay, so different mappers on different matchings do these commands, and the result on all result should send to one mapper. The mapper uh, the mapper gets all results from all the reducer gets the result of all mappers, and okay, do these two remaining commands. Okay, the reducer combine the information which are obtained from different mapper process, and specify the only 5 first data from this information. Okay, I cannot understand more, or I cannot explain more. Can you understand it? Do you have any specific question? Can you understand? Welcome. Welcome. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Yes, I talk about this slide. I say you that the reducer get the data which are obtained from different mappers and merge them to produce appropriate result. Okay, the Mapreduce job execution. The Mapreduce job execution is a parallel process. Its parallelism is based on partitioning, because the data is partitioned to different parts. And okay, I talk about the partitioning. So a directory on DFS, on HDFS, yes, is used to get to have one partition of data, because when we have loss of data, huge data, we need to partition data. Okay, so we need to use partition and define different directories for the data. The Mapreduce schedulers try to run each mapper on one of the matches that store a replica of the input file, Yes, we want to use a mapper process um, on the matches, which consists of the input file, um, okay, and putting the computation near the data principal. We don't want to send the data from one matching to another matching, and in another matching process the data, because the performance reduce when the computation and the data are located on different matches. And after that, you can see the shuffle, the mapper, and framework partitions, the keys between the reducer, sorting them, and copy data partition from mapper to reducer. We use the shuffle technique. By using this, the data can spread between the matches. The data and computation can spread between matches evenly. Uh, okay, that's enough. And the final slide is Mapreduce Workflow. Um, to increase the range of problems that can be solved with Mapreduce, we can use Mapreduce Workflow. Uh, in this technique, the Mapreduce jobs can be chained together into workflow, changed together into workflow. The workflow is a process including the flow between some works, and each work can located in different matching. Okay, so the result of each work sent to the next work. Okay, or another sentence, I can see the output of one job becomes the input to the next job. And in the final comments, you can see the Hadoop MapReduce does not support workflow, but and these changes should be done implicitly by directory name. That's enough. Yes, this is the last slide uh, of this topic, of this chapter. If you have any question, I'm hearing and I'm trying to answer your question, but if you don't have any question, we can finish the class now. This is the final session. Doctor, please, the last question is, it's required, okay. It's required for the final exam to draw a diagram or an illustration. Um, please use any techniques uh, to describe more and better the answer for me. Okay, so as possible that sometime you need to draw a diagram and also explain more a diagram, illustrate them. I suggest you instead of in addition to draw a diagram, please illustrate the diagram. Do you need to write a code or any programming? No, not code and not programming. The questions are descriptive. All questions are descriptive. You're welcome, Umar. Nazar, so what MapReduce deal with the replicas on all the matches, and we have one MapReduce deal with the all partition. Yes, it's right, Nazar. It can be right. It I think about it, Nazar. Okay, I think about the the time of the final exam, the length time of the final exam. Okay, it's related to the question. Okay, any other question? Any other question? Please, Muhammad, try to illustrate the question. You have time to illustrate the question. So, uh, please don't be uh, stingy in answering the question. Only the required material is a Darsa website. Yes, Mustafa. Yes. Don't worry about the. If you cannot send the question, send the answer, you can send to my email, Mohammed Jafar. Don't worry about this. This is not challenge. I know this is not challenge. You're welcome, Nazar. You're welcome. Thank you too for consideration, for participant. You're welcome, Mustafa. You're welcome. Uh, okay, if you don't have question, okay, we can finish the class, finish the course today. Will the question be from the source and the file sent, or can we rely on the explanation in this lecture? Uh, I don't know, Mohammed Jafar. Sometimes uh, it's from the source and the files, and sometimes it can be relied to the explanation. So I cannot specify uh, in this time. Okay, have a good time, have a good day, have a good life, inshallah, and bye for now. Bye for now. خدا حافظ همگی، متشکرم. خدا حافظ شما، خسته نباشید و خدا نگهدار.